Today, I'm going to show you a simple practical setup to make your Mac calmer and faster to work on using widgets, focus with focus filters, and Stage Manager together. Stick around for the step-by-step. Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode on SimpleTech. I am Chris, your host. Sorry, it's a little chilly outside, so I'm a little covered up. But if you're ready to go, let's get started here. Widgets put a glanceable info really quickly right on your desktop, so you don't have to open an app. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a few and clean up the layout and kind of play around with it a little bit. So we're going to get started by right-clicking on your desktop and choosing Edit Widgets. If you don't have right-click set up, you're going to want to hold the Control key down on your keyboard and go ahead and click on your desktop. Go ahead and take some time to browse through those categories that are on your widget screen, and then drag one onto the desktop that you might use. So now most widgets have small, medium, and large. Pick the one that serves the exact info that you're looking for. So for me, for example, I often refer to my weather app or potentially even my calendar. You can always edit a widget later if it's not in the right size. You just simply right click on it and choose edit. You can choose to tweak accounts or tweak the calendars that you're showing or the reminders list that you're showing. So all things are customizable, not to a great extent, but enough to kind of get by. Now, to keep the desktop tidy, align those widgets along the edges and leave some space for files you actually use. So for instance, on mine that you could see, mine are kind of not right against that side edge. Ultimately, I've moved them over a tad to leave room for the Stage Manager apps that are there on the side. Because what can happen sometimes is Stage Manager will cover up those widgets, which then defeats the purpose for me being able to see those at a quick glance. So let's jump into focus and focus filters. Focus cuts distractions, and focus filters go a step further by narrowing down which each app shows while that focus is on. It even allows you to determine what people can break through your focus or even like notifications and things along those lines. So we're going to go into a little bit of a deep dive with that here. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and open up our system settings and go to focus. We're going to go ahead and create a new focus called Deep Work. This here, where you can now customize that particular focus. So here I'm going to go ahead and choose who can notify me and which apps are allowed. I can even go as far as putting it on a schedule, tying it to a location, or if I want it to turn on automatically at any given time. Sometimes you can even tell it that when I run a certain application, I want it to immediately to kick on. So for instance, I have it kick on immediately when I open up my Filmora app, which allows me to record video, because I'm guessing when I open that, that I will actually be recording. Now let's add some focus filters so your apps match your intention. So like in the calendar filter, you could show only your work calendar when your deep work is active, maybe ignoring your personal calendars or other calendars that you might have set up. This can hide personal team noise, whatever, just stays clean, keeps it simple, right? And then you also have one for mail filter. So maybe you want to limit mail to your primary or client's mailboxes and hide newsletters until that focus ends. That way, search still works, but your inbox view stays tight. A little pro tip, you can also add app-specific filters in other supported apps. So keep an eye out for focus filter options when you configure a focus. Now, one of the new features in macOS that came out a little while ago was Stage Manager, and that happens to turn out to be one of my favorite ones to keep active on my desktop. What Stage Manager does is it keeps your active app center stage, so it's what you see right in front of you on the screen, while all your other apps and groups are tucked off to the side. So less window juggling, more focus, less distractions, less dragging things around to reorganize. It just simply puts things away when they're not in use, and when you click on them, brings them right back and puts other stuff away. So it's really, really handy to keep your desktop kind of organized and clean while you're working. Now, to turn this on, the easiest thing to do is open up your control center and click on Stage Manager, and just boom, it turns it on. You can arrange your apps into groups. So, for example, I have my Notes app with my script open currently, in addition to it with my Filmora app. So, I have those both set as a group. So that way, when I click on those in Stage Manager, they both open up simultaneously because I'm usually working in both at the same time. So maybe for you, that might be your Messages app and your Mail app, or it could potentially be Notes in Safari. So really what you do is you're allowed to customize these to be groups, or they could still be solo apps. It is a handy tool if you're like multitasking in multiple apps at a time, so they open together every single time that you do it. Now, in system settings for Stage Manager, you can choose whether to show recent apps and the desktop. And that's where you're going to be able to fine tune just a couple little things that are in there. So, talking about that deep work focus, this is how I use it and it helps me be more productive. So, before I start, I switch to my deep work focus. My widgets only show the essentials. So, like my work calendar, my reminders for today. So, calendar will show work events, mail will display just my priority mailbox. Stage managers on with two groups. I call them basically production and production two in my brain. But really, like I was saying earlier, it's Notes and Filmora or even ChatGPT and Safari, just whatever I have configured at that time and how I'm working. Um, Switching groups is one click. There's no digging through windows. And when I'm done, I turn my focus off and my Mac goes back to normal with no manual cleanup. So all my notifications start coming back through again. The filters that I had set in my deep work focus are no longer active. So my Mac is exactly how it is, just in a normal state as if I had booted it up. So just a quick recap. We have three moves: widgets, focus with filters, and stage manager. Turn your Mac into a quiet workspace on demand. And remember, if you found this helpful, hit that like and subscribe buttons down there for me and drop your favorite focus filter combo in the comments. Would love to hear it. I'm always looking for ways to get better at what I do. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope you have a great week.